Okay, no problem, Deputy. The remarks made by Deputy Grealish at a meeting in Oireachtas in September, when he referred to economic migrants from Africa as spongers, and his contribution in leaders' questions yesterday, where he implied that remittances going from Ireland to Nigeria could be the proceeds of crime and fraud, are an absolute disgrace. This is dog whistle racism, and the members of the Rural Independent Group should be disassociating themselves from his remarks rather than backing them up. I think it is outrageous that deputies in this chamber are prepared, in order to pursue their own political careers, to whip up fears on these issues, to pander to racist anti-migrant views and to peddle myths regarding asylum seekers. In that respect, they are no different to the individuals Rowan Croft, Justin Barrett, Gemma O'Doherty and others who seeking to use concerns about direct provision to build a far-right anti-migrant movement in this country. One of those individuals, a certain Gerald Murphy, has been in Oireachtas, Lismore, Lisdoonvarna and Ruski. Murphy openly promoted the fascist ideology of the Great Replacement. No, I think people should know who they are. They should know who they are.
I appreciate that, but you can make indirect reference.
It's openly promoted the fascist ideology of the Great Replacement, and this is a lunatic conspiracy theory which goes back directly to the Nazi Party, which claims that there is a plan to replace the white population in Europe through the dilution of national identity and the promotion of multiculturalism. This is absolute madness, but also very, very dangerous. On direct provision, the movement of asylum seekers in Ireland had described direct provision as a shame on Ireland, comparable to the Magdalen laundries. As was claimed when direct provision was introduced, it was meant to be a temporary measure for 6 months. If that was the case, it might be tolerable, but the average stay is 3 years and 8 months. This is extremely damaging for the over 6,000 people condemned to live in these conditions, especially children. The Special Rapporteur on Child Protection has called for it to be phased out and for asylum seekers to be integrated into the community. And Minister, there was a call from the Minister for Justice there tonight for us to come up with any proposals. Well, I'd like to make a direct response to that and say the Independents for Change here are ready and able any time to meet the Minister for Justice to put forward ideas for solutions on this. It's to solve the housing crisis, it's to solve the health crisis, it's to solve the issues facing people in the rural community. And we will come up with proposals, most definitely, and I'd love to meet the Minister for Justice, sit down for an hour and put that forward, and I'm sure my colleagues would as well. I was going to make one other point, but I think I've run out of time. I just want to... Pardon?
Make it quick.
I'll make it quick. I was going to take the opportunity to raise an issue of great concern to me in relation to policy on visa applications, because this is all linked to our migration policy. I invited a person over from Pakistan 2 years ago into this country, and he was refused his visa application because he said the documents submitted or deemed to be false and not satisfied the event would take place. I would put to the immigration section, all they had to do was ring me and find out was that taking place. They didn't, and this person was refused application into the country on that basis. And I wrote to the Minister of Justice on this and the Minister for Foreign Affairs, and I'd like a reply on it because I think it's an absolute disgrace that people are treated like that.